who stamped our passport as we traveled around the world with a whip in one hand and our hearts in our throats. Dinosaurs, Devil's Tower, D-Day. And it was he who created a living memorial to heroism amidst the horror of the Holocaust. Who would we be without the memory of these movies? As a people, as a nation, and as a world. Thankfully, we do not have to wonder, for he is here. And tonight, he is here for you with a tale that is both personal and profound. Ladies and gentlemen, Steven Spielberg.
It's great to be back at AFI. It really is. Thank you for that great greeting. And on behalf of the entire cast and crew of the Fablemans, many of whom are here tonight, I want to thank you for such a great welcome. And it's always exciting. Part of this festival, to be part of this festival, Bob Gazelle and his colleagues at the AFI produce flawlessly year to year. So thank you, Bob, so much. Thank you for that incredible introduction. Oh God, I was out there sweating, and my wife was hanging on to me, and then all these wonderful words from Bob about all the things I've done. And it felt like I was dead, but I wasn't. So even though I have premiered so many films here at the TCL Chinese Theater, and I feel I have left more body parts than just my hand and footprints and cement out in front of this place. But tonight feels completely different, and maybe it's because The Fablemans has been a different experience for me. Starting back more than a few years ago when my co-writer and co-producer and dear friend Tony Kushner urged me to consider telling a story. Yes, Tony's here. Tony was the one who urged me to consider telling a story based on the real people and the real events that influenced so much of the rest of my life. Or maybe this is different because this is a character-driven story that I can only hope will be relatable to anyone who ever grew up in a complicated family. And there is no such thing as a family that's not complicated. So I hope this is also a bit of a mirror held up to all of you. But even with all of the new experiences along the route to tonight's US premiere, there are a few constants that make my films and nights like this possible. A whole group of people, friends and collaborators who are truly family to me. And I would like to mention just a few, beginning with our partners at my longtime ancestral home, Universal Studios. Thank you, Don Langley, Jeff Shell, Jimmy Horowitz, Peter Kramer, and Michael Moses. Thank you. And I, along with Jeff Small and everyone at Amblin Partners and my producing partner, Christy McCosco, am grateful for your guidance and support and the amazing work that your team does on our behalf. I may be up here introducing Fablemans, but here in the theater is the cast and crew who let me lead them on this crazy trip down memory lane, but also who helped lead me through the most personal journey I've ever been on as a filmmaker. And now I want to recognize two artists, just two, who have made immeasurable contributions, not only to my work, but to film history. And please, the first is my editor, Michael and has always been a teacher and a sounding board and a brother. We have been together for 45 years and 31 films, and I don't think either of us has any idea how many hours we have spent together, but who's counting? Michael, thank you. And finally, an icon, an artist, a trailblazer, and a mentor. And other than my parents and my wife Kate, who is here with me tonight, and who is my heart, and thank goodness always 2 steps ahead of me, this person I'm about to call out is probably the single biggest influence on me as a filmmaker, not to mention the generations of audiences that he has left inspired and enthralled. And this year marks our 50th anniversary of working together, 50 years and 29 musical scores, John Williams. So, thank you all for being here, and I am excited to share the Fablemans with you, so let's get the show on the road. Thank you.
From the screen to the stage, please welcome Jeff Bush. Seth Rogen. Paul Dano. Gabriel Lamel. Michelle Williams. And their director, Steven Spielberg.
And I'm going to bring out my co-writer, co-producer, the amazing and inimitable Tony Kushner. And my producer of everything I do in so many ways, Christy McCosker-Krieger. And let's bring out my sisters, Ann, Sue, and Nancy. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. And since this is the last night of the festival, I think all that's left for me to say is that is a wrap. Good night, everybody.